This week we're doing a two-part video. I've had a lot of questions about the different types of drivetrains: hybrid, plug-in hybrid, petrol, diesel, electric, and which one suits you. So we'll look at that closely. And we'll also review the Geely Starray Inspire Super Hybrid. In order to understand the Super Hybrid, this Starray, I think we've got to talk about the other hybrids that are around the place, and also petrol and diesel engines and pure electric cars, and why I think, especially with this ludicrous war that's happening in the Middle East, pushing up oil prices, why now is a particularly good time to have this conversation. First of all, the difference between the hybrids. This is a plug-in hybrid with an 18 kilowatt hour battery, and it also has DC fast charging, just like a normal EV. It can run for 70 or 80 kilometers, just like a normal EV, but unlike a normal EV, this can then convert to a regular hybrid and run for another 700 or 800 kilometers. Pretty smart. But there are some disadvantages too, and that is you've still got to service the petrol or diesel component of that hybrid drivetrain. And it has been postulated that hybrids, plug-in or otherwise, are very hard on the petrol component of the drivetrain because, of course, it spends a lot of its time cold. And in fact, this week, the petrol engine has only cut in very briefly because I've been trying to keep it plugged in. In other words, I've been trying to keep the battery topped up. So then we get to the normal hybrid bit, like Toyotas and so forth. Again, two different hybrids, two different drivetrains. This is a plug-in hybrid, the Toyota ones are just a regular hybrid. But what does that mean to you, the driver? Well, Toyota's been a little deceptive with their PR speak. They call it a self-charging EV, and it isn't. That is absolutely nonsense. It is not a self-charging EV, it is a hybrid. And then we get to a pure EV, which is like a Tesla and that kind of vehicle, where you just plug it in, and regardless of the size of battery, it's going to charge from a DC or an AC source and take however long it's going to take to charge. But once that charge runs out, that's it, that's your lot, it stops. So which is the best drivetrain for you? Well, I've recently had some relatives ask me what kind of vehicle they should buy. They want an EV, but they say they do road trips. They live in Adelaide. And my first question to them was, well, in the last 5 years since you've owned this Audi, how many road trips have you done? They say they want to do road trips, but so few of us ever do. But let's assume you do a road trip. Well, on most of the main highways in Australia now, you can get DC fast charging. We've done road trips in EVs and we've had absolutely no strife whatsoever. It's added a little bit of extra time, but you're supposed to stop and rest anyway, so I'm kind of okay with that. This particular car, it doesn't come with charging cables, so you've got to either buy the accessories for a couple of $100 for an AC charger. You may also need an AC adapter for the public chargers. Not all of the public charging AC infrastructure has a cable. Sometimes you've got a BYO, so you'll need one of those fancy plugs at either end. So it leaves a burning question: is one drivetrain better than the other? I don't think so. It depends on how ecological you are. Companies like Polestar and Volvo, they track their emissions from the start of the creation of the car, including the batteries and so forth, to when it's junked and everything is recycled. The Chinese brands, I haven't seen them doing that, but for all I know, they do that as well. At the end of the day, only a buyer can decide what's best for them. So I hope this has been helpful to you in some way. I'll put a link in the description below to a written story where I'll give you a few different options and a couple of pros and cons for each drivetrain, because each drivetrain does have pros and cons. Join us next time when we review the Starray from Geely.